What is going on, everyone? We have just a single Craigslist ad in this video. It's still going to be in the iRead playlist, but it's only going to be one ad because this one is just so cringy. Like, it is the worst PC Craigslist ad I've ever found. And I want to give a shout out to the person on Twitter who sent this link to me, Intensity to the 6th power at AKA Intensity. He said, wow, what a deal. And I clicked on it. I was like, okay, it's going to be, and maybe one where he's asking maybe $500 or $1,000 at the most, more than he should for his gaming PC. Well, I clicked on it, and I was greeted with this beautiful thing, right? I mean, I'm not going to take anything away from his style here. It's a clean build. He's got a really nice build in here. He's taken his time. He's got a nice color coordination going on, and he spec'd it out appropriately. He's got an i7 8700K, 32 gigs of RAM, and he has a GTX 1080 Ti. So he's built the system right. But what he hasn't done right is price the thing. Now, he wants $6,000 for this on a public forum. And mind you, he's also posted this exact same ad in the Facebook Marketplace, so you could go there if you want to look at it as well, get more insight into what's going on with this thing. But it's just so outrageous that I wanted to bring it to your attention because people do this. And the way that he tries to sell this is just plain up. I mean, he's almost trying to bully you into buying this. And I just think it's a terrible tactic. So let's look at what he wrote in the description, and then we'll do a price breakdown and see just how far off the mark he is. By the way, before we jump into the details, I want to show a few more pictures of his build. It's very clean. I can't take it away from him. He took his time here, and it does look really nice. Excellent cable management, a good RGB color combo here with the fans and the strips, and the graphics card, the AIO. This is I'm not taking away from his build. His build looks really good, but the price isn't, and you'll see that when we go through the specs here. So, i7 8700K, 32 gigs of RAM, 128 gig M.2, 500 gig EVO SSD, a 2 terabyte hard drive, Gigabyte Z370 board, H100i cooler, 1000 watt 80 plus from EVGA. We have a 1080 Ti from EVGA, a Corsair 570X, Corsair RGB fans with controller, Corsair RGB strips with RGB controllers, Corsair RGB mouse pad. We have a Logitech G910 keyboard, a Razer Naga Epic Chroma keyboard. It's including 2 keyboards. It's a little weird. And then a 34-inch 4K Asus ultra-wide LED display. Okay, I mean, like, he's including that, right? That's a pretty nice panel. We'll look up the price. I'm not sure what the MSRP on that is. And then, of course, at the end, he's got to, hype it up with the professional, put together and built. This will play any game 4K max with ease and no issues. Okay, he's got a great combo, but in all of my testing, playing at 4K with max settings is still going to put a lot of stress on that 1080 Ti. I mean, most games you could probably get by with playing on pretty high settings in 4K, but max settings, I'm not too sure about that, especially with some, pretty intensive titles. I'd say Witcher 3 4K max is probably going to be a little too much, just one off the top of my head. But so when you see statements like this in ads, just be a little leery. Yeah, this is just a general statement that's very vague, but also at the same time very specific in his case, right? And you want to just steer clear of these for the most part. And then, of course, $6,000 cash firm, no less, in all caps. So he's pretty serious about his asking price. No, I will not part out, sell separate. I will not take payments, EBT, PayPal, whatever you have. Cash money, 6K, no less. Do not give me any BS of, oh, I can build this and that for this. Build it yourself. I do not need to sell, just here to entertain offers. If you don't have the cash, go to Wally World and buy yourself a pre-built system for $300 and have it break in 14 months and cry. I understand to an extent, right? People who lowball you just to lowball you to see if they can take advantage of you, they can get pretty annoying. So that's why you say things like firm, or, I'm pretty firm on the price, or OBO, or trades are not accepted. Like, you try to give the potential buyer like a scope, right? A frame of reference for what they should be asking in return for this if they're going to try to counter your initial offer. And that's normal. That's healthy. It's okay to have a back and forth on Craigslist. That's how both people come out happy MSRP, that's how you make a sale. But when you come out saying $6,000 cash, and I can tell you right now, he's asking for literally twice the price he should be for this, then you say firm, no less, in all caps, and then you go about making fun of people who can't afford it by saying they should go to Wally World and buy themselves pre-built PCs for $300 that will break in 14 months, which I would also argue is a stretch of his imagination, then you're just being an asshole. So what we're going to do here is build his exact PC, and we're going to give him the benefit of the doubt. We're going to build everything at MSRP and assume he's just going to charge us MSRP for it, and then maybe he'll charge us a little extra for Windows 10 if he's including that. He didn't say he was, and then maybe a little extra for the labor. But if he's trying to do this, from a business standpoint, then he should make that clear up front. If he's trying to get $6,000 for it, no business is going to operate marking up computers by that much. So we get the 8700K. We're going to do an H100i V2. There it is. There it is. Gaming 7. Yep. Here we go. $200. I know it's not Corsair RAM, but we're just going to say it's Corsair Dom Platts, just because those are going to be pretty expensive and premium. So again, we'll give him another benefit of the doubt. Now, he doesn't list what kind of M.2 SSD he has here. I'm just going to assume that it's just some average stuff. He's asking $6,000 for this. You'd think he'd be a little more specific about the parts to justify his asking price, but he's very vague, so I'm not going to assume it's anything expensive. And that's why I've got an ADATA 128 gig M.2 SSD here for roughly $50. And then I'm going to add a 500 gig Samsung Evo, and then he also has a 2 terabyte hard drive. Let's just say it's a WD Blue. All right, now his card, he's got an EVGA 1080 Ti. Pretty sure it's this top one here, for the Win 3 Gaming ICX. We're gonna add that. That's $1,000. And then his case, he's got a 570X, and power supply, EVGA 1000 watt. It's gonna be the Supernova, I presume, the 1000 watt P2. I actually have the same power supply. $280. The monitor. Let's see if we can add this. He's got 3440 by 1440. I'm presuming that's what he means by 4K ultra wide, because I don't know of any 4K ultra wides that are mainstream like this from Asus. So let's assume he's talking about 3440 by 1440, and it's a 34 inch. So we're gonna have to kind of just do this manually because I don't know what the name of the monitor is. He didn't put the model number. 34 inch. It's probably this one. Let's see. Well, there's two of them here. It's an ROG Swift. And does he have a picture of it? No, he does not. 4K Asus Ultra Wide. Let's just say it's the more expensive one. I'm not sure, but it's one of these two 34-inch monitors. So let's say that one. But you can see here our total price for this build is, and this includes the worst case scenario for both the monitor and the RAM, is $4,000. That's a lot of money, all right, especially for that monitor. $1,100 for the monitor is pretty steep. Like I said, you can get the other 34-inch monitor for a lot less than that, about $700. So for this one here, $1,100, that's a lot of money. That means that our price here is definitely going to be a bit higher than we would expect it to be, but the build itself isn't going to cost any more than about $3,000. And when you go onto a site like Craigslist searching for a PC, you might not be looking for a monitor, or you might not want to pay MSRP for a monitor at that. And that's the thing I want you guys to keep in mind here. He's asking for above MSRP by a solid, 60%? And this is just, it's almost like he's just kind of throwing it out there like, oh yeah, I'll just see if any sucker is going to come along and pay this. And from an ethical standpoint, I don't agree with it, but if you're going to look at this just from like a bit, a business standpoint, right, to make money, if you're willing to take advantage of people, at least be specific about your components first off, and then don't be a jackass in the bottom paragraph where you talk about how people who can't afford your system need to go to Walmart and spend only $300. By the way, there are some pretty sweet pre-builts at Walmart and Best Buy that aren't going to cost $300. That might cost $600, $700, but they're not going to break in 14 months. Just because something's manufactured or sold at Walmart doesn't mean that it's automatically trash. And you can tell he's probably already gotten a lot of flack for this on Facebook Marketplace and probably even Craigslist on his cell phone. Just because he is so blunt here about, do not give me any BS of, oh, I can build this myself for this and that. He's either admitting guilt, right, as to why he's charging so much. He's pretty much admitting that he's charging way more than he should here, which is kind of funny. And then at the same time, he's gonna insult you and the preceding sentences here with this is just so bad. Wally World for $300 if you don't have the cash. Okay, so if you can't afford a $6,000 PC, all you can afford is a $300 pre-built from Walmart. At this point, I would just say, if you're gonna spend, you know, $2,000 or $3,000 on a build like this, and then pay another $2,000 or $3,000 premium because someone else built it for you, call in a sick day, take one day and lose $200 from your job, and learn how to build a PC so you can save yourself $2,000 or $3,000 in the long run so you don't fall for shit like this. But here's how it is. At the end of the day, he can charge whatever he wants for his PC. He can charge $6,000, he can charge $10,000. Would have made for a better video on my part, but he can charge whatever he wants. The thing is though, he might not sell it for the price he's asking, and that's the risk he's willing to take. He says he doesn't need to sell it, and then, you know, he's pretty upfront about that too, so maybe he won't sell it and he'll still be just as happy as if he had sold it, but I have a feeling he'd be a little more happy if he got an extra $2,000 on top of what he spent to build this thing. This is just... I can't help but kind of just smirk and laugh at this. The way that he portrays himself in the ad is just so bad. I hope that he at least, if he watches this video, decides to not be a prick in the description, and then maybe he'll have a slightly better chance of selling the PC. It's just a turn off the way he has it written. But don't go harassing him on Craigslist trying to call him up. Don't, you know, try to message him on Facebook Marketplace. Just leave it at this. You know, I think the exposure here is enough to maybe convince him to reevaluate the way he's trying to sell this PC. And at the end of the day, this is just more or less a learning process for the rest of us who are willing to just stop and admire the mistakes of other people. This is a pretty big mistake. But I guess at the end of the day, if he sells it, it's not really a mistake for him. It's just a mistake for the person who bought it. Again, another reason why this video exists. If you like this one, if you think this ad is just hilarious and worth a video, let me know by giving this one a thumbs up. I appreciate it. Thumbs down for the opposite. Be sure to click the subscribe button if you haven't already, and that bell notification icon so you get notified when videos like these go live. Don't worry, by the way, our review of the Be Quiet Dark Rock Pro 4 is in the works. Will be out shortly. This is Science Studio. Thanks for reading with us, or more like laughing with us.